As the corporate sector evolves, Burka Africa remains committed to cultivating world-class thought leaders and providing innovative, human-centered solutions that shape a prosperous future for African governments and businesses. About Burka Africa. Burka Africa is a platform that houses expert consultants from across the African sub-region that provide strategic sustainable leadership, organizational development, corporate governance, coaching, and ESG advisory services to businesses and African governments. Burka's strategic thrust is to strengthen strategic alignment for Africa's development by bridging the gap between governments, businesses, and industry experts for leadership and business solutions, serving as a center for excellence and transformative leadership insights in Africa. The consortium is dedicated to shaping ethical, visionary, productive, and sustainable businesses and leadership across Africa. Through advisory, training, and coaching, Burka supports executives, managers, and organizations in achieving excellence, growth, and sustainable impact. Visit our website www.burkafrica.com for more information.
Unique radio, dial any day. 95.7 radio. Unique radio, your dial any day. 95.7, feel the stereo.
Across Africa's boardrooms and backrooms, a new era is rising. It's time to stop surviving and start thriving. Introducing Growth and Grind Africa, a game-changing radio show for leaders, dreamers, and doers. Every Thursday at 5 p.m. on Unique 95.7 FM. We bring you real conversations on leadership, coaching, transformation, and strategy. No flop, just tools to grow, lead, and win in today's world. Whether you're behind the scenes or at home, this is not.
Because it's a thing that has been given to you.
So now
the question is, do you have ownership of that? Have you discovered who you are?
I have a head. I bought it from the market. No. So it was made by someone. I own it.
Hi, I am Austin Game, and I will be listening to Growth and Grind Africa, the transformative talk show, every Thursday on Unique FM at
time for the Growth and Grind Africa. Well, before we kickstart today's conversation, the nation is actually in mourning. The nation is in mourning. For me, when I heard it, I was in a boat, and then I was devastated. I'm like, how can 8 people at the same time? I had a lot of whys in my head, but well, they were not satisfied. I was not satisfied with some of the explanations I had, but our condolences go to the families involved, to the presidency, to the churches, to the communities they come from. Our heartfelt condolences to all of them. And perhaps it's a time that we should reflect on life, the essence of life, and most importantly, as a nation. Well, my name is Senor Kluchedo, and I'm sitting in for our regular host, Liziane Kwabji. My co-host is
Margaret Jackson, also known as HRH, Her Royal Highness. A pleasure to be doing this with you, Senor.
Oh, the pleasure is mine.
Even if it's for a short period, I've always wanted to do this with you.
Same day. It's the same for me too as well. I mean, we all do this backdoors, but today we are having it on set, and it's this once again for the listeners. If it's the first time you're listening, this is Growth and Grind Up. Indeed, a transformative show. Not a show with a difference, and here we talk about very bold issues, things that might slip up down the carpet, but here we talk about bold issues pertaining to leadership, governance, and youth related activities and programs, and mindset shift, etc., etc. And today we are going to talk about strategy. Hustle versus strategy.
You know, Senor, we've always said this program is about old school wisdom and new school hustle. But I'm wondering, is it new school hustle?
We would find out from our guest. And so joining us on set is a wonderful lady. Perhaps I'll leave that introduction to Margaret. Margaret, who do we have today?
Wow. We have the bold. The intelligence. Dion would do Dion Akomchineboa, and she's Esquire. It doesn't end there. This is a bold Ashanti woman who hails from Kumasi. And is it the Ashanti Kingdom?
Yes.
She hails from the Ashanti Kingdom.
Yes.
She hails from the Ashanti Kingdom. And aside the fact that she is Esquire, she also has two businesses. John, you are warmly welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Mike.
But before we go on, before I ask you my first question, where were you when you heard about our loss yesterday?
So I was actually at Pam Pam because my brother and I were real estate developers, and we went to see a parcel of land that we've bought for our latest development. So we were coming back, and then we heard the news. It was quite devastating. It was very, very, very shocking and very devastating.
Guess what? I had been in meetings all afternoon, all day. Then I got a call from the UK. You won't believe this. Not from Ghana, the UK. The person said, accept my sympathy. And I was like, what for? What has happened to me? Then the person said, Ghana's loss. Where have you been? Then I said, I normally listen to 7 o'clock news. So now I repented, not only 7 o'clock news. I will make sure I check regularly. But it's a sad period for us as Ghanaians.
It really is.
And I don't know, words fail me at this point. But I'm sure because they were on duty and they loved Ghana so much, they would want us to continue with the grind. They would want us to continue working hard. They would want us to continue making them proud by giving of our best to this nation. They love this nation so much. And the mission, it was against Galamsey. So it makes me, I want to do more for my nation. I want to continue with this program. I want to help people to develop themselves, to find their why and to find their purpose. So thank you very much for coming on the show today.
Thank you very much for having me.
John, in about a few words, tell the audience more about you. Then I'll ask you our first question.
Okay, so my name is Dion Akomchineboa, Esquire. I'm an attorney licensed in Ghana and New York. I practice as a corporate attorney, so more of contracts, negotiations, mergers and acquisitions, stuff like that. I'm married with 3 kids. I have a nonprofit foundation called the Nzuria High Foundation, and It's a female empowerment initiative. So
John, please, a moment. What does the name mean? There's a lot, you see, and I couldn't pronounce it. That's why I didn't mention it, and I said you should introduce yourself.
Nzuri Uhai.
Mm-hmm.
So Nzuri means beautiful, and Uhai means life in Swahili. Wow. So it's translates into beautiful life. And the essence is to give women and youth in Ghana a beautiful life, a holistic, beautiful life. So that's what it means.
And how about the other business?
So I have two other businesses. I have Sorai Milian, which is a fashion brand, and then I have Nzurai, which is a traditional media brand.
So tell me.
So I'm curious now. So you have how many? 3 different organizations.
Yeah.
Yes.
So okay. So how was it? Was it strategic move or was it a hassle for you?
So I'll say initially started as a hassle. But I realized hustling wasn't taking me how I wanted to go or where I wanted to go. So then we switched to strategy.
Okay. So we'll pause here and have our vox pop. So our colleague Stanley went out and spoke to a few people about the topic that we have today, hustle versus strategy. Why working smart is the way to go. Let's hear what they said on the street. Stanley, over to you.
Hi, my name is George Ofori, and I'm the HR superintendent for contract mining company in Ghana called Rockshore International. I think the question of hustle hard versus working smart it's very multifaceted in the sense that it's quite context dependent. In Ghana has a very difficult employment market, and so the idea of hustling hard is very quickly equivalent to working extremely hard and, sort of always being on his 24/7 and that kind of stuff, which you can understand why, but we don't have the entrepreneurial sort of spirit in Ghana yet in terms of employment development. So the whole 24/7 always on the grind thing doesn't necessarily equate to success. I think one, especially in the Ghanaian market, that does really help is connections and networking. And networking doesn't necessarily have to be quantity over quality, but actually having fewer quality connections with people in places that can, open the door for you is really, really smart. And also showing up prepared for those connections is also really, really smart and seems to be a much more helpful route to where you want to go. Success is definitely being redefined in this generation by virtue of the influx of artificial intelligence, of AI, of tech, and being able to make the tech work for you is super, super important. And it's a really, really good way to cut across the noise and to make your points and your talents heard and seen. So I would say that, yeah, definitely there is a redefinition of success. For example, being able to prompt properly in your standard, AI provider guarantees you a much more precise answer and a much leaner way to your goals. So I would definitely look more into both building your technical expertise in, leveraging AI and tech, but also building your interpersonal and human expertise in being able to form good, warm, and actually lasting dynamics with people that you look up to. If you have a role model, for a cup of coffee or you can talk about your idea, that would definitely help smarter than, necessarily working hard all the time.
Hi, my name is Lois Young and I work at Omalitech. Sometimes hustling may just be inevitable because people have to put their talents and their passions to work. But how about adding a touch of smartness to your hustle? It makes all the difference. So the rule is pretty simple, I'd say. Never hustle if it's not hustling smart. And take note that no matter the road you choose to take towards success, I think it's more guaranteed when you incorporate a touch of smartness to your work. Work smart and success is guaranteed.
Hi, I'm Kobe. This is an interesting question. And to answer that, I'll use one quote I heard from Kanye Jr., which says that if you don't learn how to work smart from working hard, you won't enjoy the full benefit of hard work. And I think that is profound because it means that hard work is necessary, but the goal should be being able to work smart, right? So I do believe in hard work. I do believe people have to work hard, but I also do believe that the focus for working hard is to be able to discover ways and means of working smart. So it's not just about hard work and it's not just about smart work, right? I think it's a two-way thing. So hard work should be the precondition for you to work smart. Yes, so that's what I think.
Yeah, going in 5 seconds.
Hi. That was the Vox Pop. Whoa. Before I move on, hustle versus strategy. Many people think that sheer effort guarantees success. And without a clear plan, they end up spinning their wheels. You spin the wheel and you don't move forward.
Absolutely.
I remember that when I was young, I'm a baby boomer, a proud baby boomer. When I was young, it was all about hard work. So that's all we thought about. And it ends up in wasted effort, hustle without strategy. It's like a salesperson cold calling 100 leads a day without targeting the right audience. What will happen? They'll see poor results compared to someone who reaches and focuses on high potential clients. I hope my listeners are putting down a few points as we talk about this. So, as individuals, it is said that we should define clear goals, prioritize high impact tasks, and optimize workflows to maximize efficiency. And when we talk about strategy, we also talk about leveraging time and resources effectively. Because time is a finite resource. Once spent, there's a song that says, if I can only turn back the hands of the clock, which we cannot. And later on, I'll talk about the Pareto principle, which can be used to manage this. That instead of wasting time on everything and, running helter-skelter, there's a way of going about life to make sure there's no burnout, because hustle leads to burnout. There are different strategies which we can adapt. And I hope that we will be delving deeper into these ones as we have our chat with you. So I want to go straight into our first discussion point with you. Many people believe that success is all about grinding 24/7. But tell me, based on your experience. But before I move to your experience, I'm happy that today on this panel, we have Coach Liziane here. Coach Liziane, can you kindly say hello?
Hi. If you're just tuning in, this is Growth and Grind Africa with Coach Margaret and Liziane. Sorry, Coach Margaret, we're just a little late, but I'm excited about the topic.
No,
And
Senyo
is doing exceptional.
Yes.
I almost stepped out. I'll
But
just
we
sit
still
in and
have him
enjoy.
here. And so I know that he will chip in as and when necessary. But I was going to Dion on how people think you've got to grind 24/7. I'm a baby boomer. In my time, if you do research on baby boomers, it was about loyalty. It was about hard work. And we used to glorify. I haven't slept for about 3 weeks now. It's all back to back to back. And it was who worked hardest, who slept the least, who was grinding the most. And we used to glorify that. But there's always a turning point.
Yeah.
Before I hear from you, let me share with you my turning point.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Sorry, but I used to work so hard. And I thought being burnt out was okay. There were periods where I would just go to the hospital and the doctor would give me injections to force me to sleep.
Wow.
Then my daughter sat me down and asked me, so if you die, who, you see, it's all about a legacy. If you die, who will
Inherit your
inherit?
legacy.
We are not ready for that. You shouldn't wait for a doctor to give you an injection to put you to sleep before you rest.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my turning point. And I realized that in my time, it was manpower. And I still tell them in the office, when we have to calculate figures and they pick their calculators, I go like, oh, that's why my boy meeting that we now put a calculator. Wow, you say calculator, wow, boo, mom. And calculator, no cry. If you are home, see, if you are now wetting kakra. And I'm a one wetting kakra,
exactly.
you know. And then I realized that what would take me maybe a day would take somebody maybe 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So tell me, what was your turning point? What did it for you? I know you're a digital native. You are what? A millennial. You know, was there ever a turning point?
There was. So when I passed my New York bar and I started working at a law agency in New York, they glorified hustle. So the least number of hours you'd clock in every day would be maybe 14 hours. So the average would be 16, 18 hours. So I did that for about a year and a half, almost 2 years. And then I took a trip to Italy. So I was having lunch. And then, because New York has a culture of like, we're on the clock. And my question is, where are we going? So at that, it was in Florence, Italy. So I was waiting for my food and I expected it in a New York minute, like so they say, very quickly. But Italians are people who take their time. They're very leisurely people. So after 30 minutes, I was like, wait, where's my food? Like, he was like, calm down. Where are you going? Rushing, where are you going? So I realized that, wait a minute, I'm on vacation and I'm still acting as if I'm in New York because I had subconsciously conditioned myself not to appreciate leisure, not to appreciate just being there for a couple of minutes with really nothing to do, just to appreciate nature or even a conversation. So that for me was my turning point, because when I got back to the States, I decided that I can't go on like this for 20 years, for 30 years. If I work for 16 hours every single day for the next 30 years, would I be able to build a life that I would be proud of at the end of the day? And I realized that no. So that trip for me was my turning point.
And was it before your 3 businesses, or were you running all at the time you were in New York working in the law firm?
So at that time, I was running my clothing brand, So I had that, and then I had my law firm, like my legal job. So I was working 16 hours here, and then for the rest of the 8 hours, I'll probably work for my clothing brand. So I was barely sleeping. I was always on coffee. And that's normal in the environment that we're in. Everyone is highly caffeinated because people drink like 10, 12 cups of coffee a day. So if I'm drinking 2 or 3, I'm like, okay, at least someone is worse than me. But then I realized that call was not what I wanted to become. I didn't want to become someone always on the grind because I had a young daughter at that point, and I didn't want her to grow up without me because like what you said, Coach Margaret, you're building a legacy. So most of the time your focus is on the legacy. But then I realized that instead of leaving a legacy, we should live the legacy.
Yeah.
So that was a mental turning point for me.
We should live
the legacy. Yes. Most of us are so focused on leaving. So we're hustling, we're working, we're building so many things, but we don't even enjoy it. But when you grow older, you realize that the things that make life valuable are the things that are free. And most of the time, those are not even what we are working so hard to build. Because like you have a daughter, those are the things at the end of the day that really count. If you have 100 houses and you don't have a good relationship with your daughter, I don't think you'll be fulfilled. But we focus so much on building, leaving a legacy. But I think it's time we sit down and live the legacy.
And just to push the conversation a bit, so are there benefits to working as the hassle part of working, or simply put, are there benefits, or it's pretty much more negative?
Oh no, there are definitely benefits, but I think that it's like taking a trip, right? if you sit down and you plan your destination, you plan the activities you're going to do, you do the research, you have a better trip than if you just get up and rush to the airport, take the first flight, and then you're going there. You're confused as to where you're going to stay, even the weather, what you're supposed to wear, the kind of people you're going to meet. So hustle is very important, but I think hustle should come after strategy. So when you've written down everything, or when you've broken everything into coordinates, when you have set the plan, it's like when you have the compass, that's when you run. Most people are just running without a compass. So they're running, but they're standing in the same place, running in a circle, so going really nowhere. But when you sit down and analyze what exactly you want, and I think that's one of the biggest issues with our generation, with my generation, my Coach Margaret. Most people don't know what they want.
No, I believe.
You see, the thing is, most people don't know what they want. They see things, or maybe let's say social media, they see the flashy houses, they see the luxurious trips. But the thing is, sometimes they don't even want that. There are some people who hate to go on trips, like they literally hate the airplanes. But then they see people glorifying maybe Dubai or whatever country, and then they want that. But generally, they don't want it. So I think as a generation, we have to decide, what do you want out of life? Because your definition of success will be different from mine. So if I'm living my life based on your definition of success, I might get everything you have, but I'll not be fulfilled. And it might not even be in line with my purpose. So it's about time that we sit down and be honest with ourselves. What do you really want? So when you decide on what you want, you create a strategy for it. And based on that strategy, you can hustle along.
So the strategy is actually your game plan.
Yes.
Okay.
So I know what I want, and then what is the game plan to get
it.
there?
Exactly. Zig Ziglar said something. He said, when you decide what you want in life, everything comes at a price tag.
Yeah.
Determine the price and decide if you're willing to pay the price. And if you decide you are willing to pay the price, pay it in full. So that's the thing. So the strategy is the game plan. And it doesn't consist of necessarily just what, let's say I want a bottle of water. When do I want it by? What in my power can I do to get it? Are there any people, institutions, skill set, mindset shift that I need to have to be able to get it? So all that goes into the strategy.
So what was the turning point for you? Because was that strategy birthed when you were in the law firm, or when you got married, when you had a child? At what point did you say, okay, the New York culture, I appreciated it, I was excited after graduation, I had a job, I have the experience, I want to move on?
So for me, I'll say it was after the birth of my second child.
Okay.
Yes. Because when I was having my second child, I mean, the doctors didn't tell me a lot, but I knew there was something wrong because the nurses kept coming more frequently. The doctors came, and every time they came, they looked paler and paler and paler. But obviously not to scare me. They didn't say anything major. But then thankfully, I was able to have my child. Then later, they told me that I think the umbilical cord had tied his neck.
Okay.
So yeah, so it was cutting his breath and stuff like that. But for me at that point, the only question I kept asking myself was, if you had died today, would you say you lived a life that you're proud of? And at that point, the answer was no. Because at that point, like I said, I had hustled for sometimes even 18 hours. There are nights where I wouldn't even bother to go home because I know I have a meeting the next morning. So you just stay in the office, take a shower at the gym, and then you're back on the grind. But then when I was in the hospital bed, I just asked last day on earth, can you say, in fact, when you meet God, can you tell God that you gave me talents and I used it? And I realized that it was no. That was, for me, was my major turning point when I realized that, no, maybe, yes, you're working, you're making the money, but is this what you want to be your life? And when I was no, I just decided that I had to change. And that was, for me, the time I strategized in my life to see where I really wanted to take it.
And a quick one to listeners. If you are tuned into Growth and Grind Africa and listening to us, whether you're in your car, you're in the office, you're at home, please pen down Ziglar.
Yes.
And yes, and read a lot about him. He spews a lot of wisdom.
Absolutely.
And he has a lot of ideas. And if you really want to grow, if you want to develop yourself, he's one of the people you should be reading. And I'm not surprised you mentioned him. He's one. I love his quotes as well. I read him a lot. So back to you, or maybe you would like to chip in a bit. what are the tools that you use? You know, how do you handle your high productivity? What do you do to ensure that you mentioned the vision, the goal? And I know that with millennials, you have a lot of tools at your disposal, which are, you know, we have listeners, so we've got to empower them. Talk to them about tools that they can use. What are some of the tools that you have been using?
So me personally, I have a team. So what I do personally, I think that I cannot delegate most of the time. In terms of tools, for my team management, I use a tool called Asana, ASANA. I use Trello as well. And it's called more of a Kanban board style. So everyone has what they're supposed to do, and then we're able to track what we're doing. I also like calendars. Like, I'm very traditional, so I have paper and pen to-do list.
Without my paper and pen.
Yeah, so I write a to-do list every morning to know, and obviously I prioritize it. So the top 3 things have to be done. The top 3 things that have to be done first are on the top. And then I look through if I can do it myself. If I can do it fully myself, I do it. But most of the time, there are things that a member of my team can help. Then maybe I'd have to just go through, make sure everything is okay, and then send stuff like that. But and also alarms.
Oh, alarms work, don't they?
I set an alarm for everything. When I'm in a meeting, maybe strategy session, email, I set an alarm for everything.
And to avoid, thank you very much. And to avoid burnout, for someone like me, I also use the Pomodoro technique. And that is, if you're working on an assignment, I design manuals, for example. So, and it can be, if you're not careful, you'll be seated behind your desk for a long time working on the manuals. So to our listeners, what I do sometimes is to use this technique where I work for about 25 minutes, give myself 5 minutes break, walk around, settle down, do this for about 4 times, then to take longer breaks. When I started, I used to watch my clock or my watch like no man's business. But I guess it's like when you go to the market and you want to buy meat, you see, and you say 1 kilo. As soon as the butcher cuts it and puts it on it, you know,
It's
this is indeed 1 kilo.
Yeah.
It's happened to me now. I don't even need to time myself. I work for about 25 minutes. My body tells me you need a break. I walk. It makes you very efficient.
Yes.
No burnout, because you're not seated behind your machine for a long time. And the old Eisenhower matrix also works.
Yes.
So it is, if you have a lot of stuff to do, and this is to all of us, and you know, at Growth and Grind Africa, we give out tools. I mean, for free. You don't need to come for our trainings. So the Eisenhower matrix.
Yeah.
So it talks about urgent and important stuff. If you realize that that task is urgent and important, then you attend to it.
Yeah.
If it is important and not urgent, then you can delegate, right? Because it's important. Oh no, you schedule.
If it's important but not urgent.
But not urgent. But if it is urgent but not important, then you can delegate. If it is neither of the two, then it means it's not worth it.
You cancel it out.
So you cancel it out.
Yeah.
Coaches, do you have anything that you'd want to ask or add on? Coach,
so just a quick one. I'm thinking through. I'm listening to your story and how you were able to delegate, use some strategies and all that, which is fantastic. But then again, I'm asking myself, well, I'm probing into the mind of the listener, saying, you're from New York, you've perhaps attained some sort of status in terms of education and experience, but I am in Accra, I'm Choco, I need to put food on the table, I have to hustle. And you're talking strategy. Is it strategy alone or hustle alone or both? Like, how can I still make ends meet and still, walk myself through your way of life? That's in that mind shift, that paradigm, and say, okay, I want to hustle or I want a strategy, but I can't do that now because I have to hustle. Well, what kind of advice would you tell someone going through that?
So strategy is really a plan, right? Sometimes we say strategy, people go overwhelmed. Strategy is really a plan.
So it's a plan not devoid of hard work, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You have to work hard. But the thing is, most people work hard and are not going anywhere because there's no strategy accompanying it. So like, look at the strategy like your North Star,
Okay.
right? Like your compass, where it's just a direction for
Okay.
you. So you're using energy, you're hustling, yes, but then you're hustling towards something as opposed to hustling towards nothing. Which,
So it means that as you have a destination,
yes,
and then you start from point zero, having a destination in mind, and as and when you progress, you remind yourself of the destination. So it means the destination is kind of like a motivator pulling you towards it.
exactly.
Okay.
And because you have a destiny, because the reality is there are so many challenges in life, right?
Mhm.
No one has a smooth sail.
I'm
But
happy
then-
you are talking about challenges.
But when you know where you're going, even amidst challenges, you still get the strength to continue. You still get the strength to push forward because you know where you're going. I like to use the example of this cartoon Mufasa. I don't know if you've watched it.
Yeah, Lion King.
So you see when they were going to Melele.
You brought out the child in me.
It was actually one of my favorite cartoons as well. But when they were going to Melele with Rafiki and Nala and the rest, there were so many challenges. They were starving.
Yeah.
And there were predators trying to
around,
pounce
yeah.
on them. But then they had a vision of where they were going. So those things didn't deter them. They just changed their strategies, quote unquote, and then they got there. But imagine if they had nowhere to go. They would have easily given up when the other predators were trying to pounce on them. So that's the thing. So if you're someone listening and then let's say you're in Choco, like you're saying, I get it. Life is hard. Life can be really hard. But whatever it is you're doing, look like Coach Margaret mentioned the Pareto principle. I'll leave it to her. She'll explain it further. But then just look at your life and see what you're doing that is in alignment with where you want to go. I was talking to a lady this morning and she was saying, oh, she has an LLB, but then she wasn't able to do the LLM or the BL. And I asked her why. She was like, oh, she got into something else, but she's beginning to realize that what she's doing now is not in line with what she really wants to do. And I told her that, yeah, sometimes you need courage to change course. But then the longer you stay on the train that is taking you to the wrong direction, the more expensive it will be when you're coming back to the right direction. Because it's a longer journey. So even if literally it's the transport fare we are talking about, it's going to be more expensive, right? So if you're in Choco or wherever it is that you are that you're listening to us, look at the things that let's say you're selling buffet, right? Let's just say that. Look at maybe the number of people, maybe there are certain areas that you go to and people buy it quickly, right? When you're starting your day, let those areas be the places you start. So you don't go to 10 areas before you come to your number one area. You start at your number one area so that maybe 50% of your buffet will be done by the time, like maybe in 2 hours. Then you can spend the rest at areas that you're not too sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the thing is, most people will just start at maybe area 10.
Okay.
Because they've not even realized which one is their number one spot.
Okay.
You know, and that's where strategy comes in. Because before you craft a strategy, you have to think through a lot of things.
Dion, no view the whole can. When you, I say sometimes you cast strategy, and I think of why you're confused.
It's just a word.
Mami Kancho, there was a woman who used to sell sugarcane in Takrady. She started selling, just like you said, at a very convenient spot. And she had, when you interview her, she tells you, I knew I wanted to build houses. Then she started bringing in, so she used to sell small. Then she would bring and and then wholesale to others as well. And then she became a big,
from just sugarcane.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she built a house because she had an end goal.
Yes.
In Ethiopia, sometimes girl kind of strategy and not go why confused. End goal,
yes.
Into now who say, how do I get to my destination?
Yes. It's like Obiawa to us, you want to build a house, right? If you are someone who used to spend frivolously, if when you're spending now, you think, hey, where is cement? Hey, where is traco? Where Aniao? Where iron rod?
You know that uncle who used to say, "Oh, cement in a wedding." He was saying, "You just your cement money." You know,
and that's the truth. Because if you have a vision, if you have somewhere you're going, you try to make sure that all your actions and everything align with where you're going. But if you don't know where you're going, then you're just wasting energy and time because there's no end point.
So what role did coaching and then mentorship play in your life working in New York, deciding to make that shift to strategic work?
A very important role, but most of my mentors were not like physical mentors that I know personally. So when I decided I wanted to shift my life, I started listening a lot to people like Zig Ziglar, Jim Rohn, Les Brown, people who are motivational and inspirational speakers, because most of those people talk about strategy, they talk about goal setting, they talk about having a vision, ambition, and stuff like that. So for me, I didn't have traditional mentors in the sense that this is my mentor, I can pick up a phone and call.
But you had role models.
Yes, through speeches and books.
You had role models.
Absolutely.
They all have a part to play in our lives.
Definitely.
Okay, so listeners, you heard from Dion, and we would come back to take some thoughts from Dion again. But then, if you would want to join us online, we would soon let our viewers join in on online. So we would have the telephone numbers. We would say them, and then as and when we open the phone lines, you can join us. But till we get that cut across, we would have to take a song of the day.
God be with you till we meet again. Till we meet again. Till we meet at Jesus' feet. Till we meet again. Till we meet God be with you till we meet again. God be with you till we meet again. May His hands protecting light daily manna still provide. God be with you till we meet again. God be with you till we meet again. When life's perils they confound you, put His arms unfailing round you. God be with you till we meet again.
Indeed, God be with you till we meet again. Till we meet on the resurrection morning. May God be with you. May the souls of our departed rest in perfect peace.
Amen.
Amen. Now to our callers. So if you want to talk to us, you want to ask a few questions, you want to seek clarification, you want to give us comments, please call us on 055 08 34 555. The number again is 055 083 4555. Our phone lines are open. And you can also contact us on all our social media platforms, LND Africa and Becca Africa social media. So it's on LinkedIn, Facebook, you can get to us, and on our websites as well.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, good evening. Yes, my name is KD and I'm calling in from North Carnation. And I just want to talk briefly on what the topic is, and I think it's been a very good conversation. Listening to Dion talking about her experience from New York and the example she gave in Italy, I can see that yes, we just need to take our time in doing everything, because I believe we Gen Zs have a way that I think we are lucky to be in the AI world currently, because if we didn't have that option, we have no choice than to be hustling. But now we have the option of working smart, and I think we should take advantage of it. So I believe working smart is the way to go. Is the way to go. That's my 2 cents on that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, KD.
So basically KD was saying we should leverage on technology to be able to work smart, right?
Yes.
Great. And she make mention about Asana and
Trello,
other tools that we have. Yeah.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
You're welcome to Growth and Grind Africa.
Thank you, my brother and sisters. You are on point. It's just unfortunate that when you started this program, the first day you started, somebody did not agree with you and what you said. I was very set aback, and I wish I could apologize in behalf of that person. He did not get it. And what you said on that day, still coming, keep on repeating itself. As your guest said, she said the day she was giving birth, she was about to be delivered of a baby, which there was a slight problem, and she asked herself if that should be the end of it. What would she be telling her God? I really recall what you said that day. That if you have an opportunity, or if you have all the glory, or you have been awarded with something, one day a thief come for it, or maybe you got the thing and then you have to do some kind of investigation. Say that maybe somebody planted something. That's why you got that position. What will you do? What will happen? Or when you have to paraphrase what you just said, when you have stripped off what you have earned, all that you have earned, how will you cope? That's the question you asked that day. And somebody was arguing, you can't be stripped off. Honestly, you can be stripped off. That's why when you work hard, the smart way, the hustle and then the smart way of hustling still come into play. So I thank you for the program. May God richly bless you.
Thank you too.
And keep the fire burning.
Thank you too.
So
Thank
much.
you very much.
Thank you.
That's all Growth and Grind Africa is about, to make that impact. Not just talk the talk, but also walk the talk and make that impact as well. And thank you so much for calling. And so while we keep our phone line still on, Dion, perhaps you would want to talk to us about. Okay, there's another caller. Hello.
Hello?
Yeah. Good evening. Your name and where you're calling from, please. Come again? Okay. So what's on your mind? Any comments you would like to make pertaining to our topic today? Hustle versus strategy.
About African life, just know our African life very well. Okay, let's not practice the Bible, the white people, the life more than our life. It's what I'm saying.
Oh, we lost our caller. We lost our caller then. But anyway, thanks for calling anyway. So Dion, a quick one. The previous caller talked about your bed when you were sitting, you were lying in bed, and then you thought about all that. Is it worth it? All that. So you have a foundation, right?
Yes.
So was that the aftermath, or was that part of the thinking? Did you have the foundation before the birth, or was an afterthought?
It was afterthought. Actually, the foundation was birthed because of that experience.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Okay.
Good to know.
Okay. Just so, what does the foundation? What do you do?
So it's female empowerment, but we do it mentally, financially, and then I'll say physically in terms of skills development. So, like I said, from that experience, I realized that my mission or my purpose is really to elevate other people, especially women. And I wasn't doing that up till then. So I set up the foundation, and we have it on 3 different levels. So we have the youth, I'll say 15 to 18. We have the 18 to 35, and then we have the 35 and above. Last week, we actually hosted our second mental health awareness summit, and it was very impactful. There were so many young girls talking about what they're going through. Some of them wanted to commit suicide, how they changed their mind and stuff like that. And over the weekend, actually, we have the Rise Up Youth Summit, which is just for the secondary schoolers. It's because I believe that transformation begins in the mind. Your programming leads to your thoughts. Your thoughts lead to your feelings. Your feelings lead to your actions, and your actions lead to your results. So we are trying to, it's a grassroots approach, trying to recondition their mindset, trying to let them think bigger, bolder, remind them of the greatness in them. So that's why we're starting at that level. So hopefully, if you go through any Rise Up session, you won't be set for life necessarily, but then you'd have the foundation to build upon. So that's what the foundation does. So we just empower women and youth holistically.
Great. So in line with this, also, they want to say Back Africa and then L&D are aligned. We also do provide leadership and growth and empowerment for youth as well. So that's good. All 3.
Yeah, because I think it's very important.
Great. And perhaps listeners out there, organizations out there, if you'd want to link up, we want to partner with Back Africa as well as L&D. That would be great to be able to go grassroots and then all our private sector, public sector, and that would be good. And also for Growth and Grind Africa, well, if you want to be on the show as a sponsor, you're always welcome.
Our doors are wide open.
Wide open. Like a Jerusalem gate. Good. So if you would want to sponsor this program, you would want to come on board and see what it's all about, Growth and Grind Africa, you just take your phones ready, +233 2017 82877, +233 2017 82877, or
+233 244 363387.
Great. Okay, so any parting words from Dion?
Would like to hear your parting words.
Okay, so
no, but before your parting words, you have a book. You've written a book.
Yes, actually, this is my second book.
Oh wow! Oh, look at me! I thought it was your first. Please talk to us a bit about your books and then your parting words.
So the book is called The Tyranny of the Ordinary, and it's sort of so the precepts about it's an immigrant girl who goes to the United States, and she's faced with regular challenges, but then she has a vision of greatness in her mind. She has a vision of impacting millions, but then her reality is she's living in the slums. She's working 3 jobs, like the regular hustle of the immigrants.
She's a hustler.
Exactly. Until actually, it's really in line with this. So until she finds scrolls that were given to her by her grandfather, and then those scrolls amount to strategies. So there are principles that she begins to recondition her mind to live by. And by the end of the book, she's a very successful female entrepreneur who's impacting millions around the world. But then the The interesting thing is it's a journey, and that's what I think this generation forgets to understand, that I call us, actually, maybe I might be past the microwave generation. We want everything instantly, but anything that is worth it takes time to grow. You can't, I think it was Warren Buffett who said, if you get 9 women pregnant, you can't get a child in 1 month, right? And that's how this generation wants to do it. We want to have a full grown baby in a month. It doesn't work like that. So that book talks about the journey of success, the trajectory, the challenges you face. I'm very particular on mindset, because this generation, I believe the formula for success is to become, to do, then to have. This generation starts with having. So they want to have and they forget about the do or the becoming. But then when you miss out the two, you can never build anything substantial. So that's what this book is about. Helping you to first become before then you do, then you have.
Your parting shots? Please, where can we find your books to buy?
Oh, so
Amazon?
Actually, I think I bought one.
No, but that's for the listeners.
Oh, yeah. So it's on Amazon. You can get it at Kingdom Bookshop, EPP, Bookhaven, and I think it's Blue Knights online. So I think,
Knights.
yes, you can get it all there.
They are, I think, at all the airports. Blue Knights.
Yes, yes.
Great.
Your parting shots?
There's greatness in you. Whatever you decide to do, you can do it through prayer, through grit, and through hustle, but also through strategy.
Great. Thank you so much, Dion. And then listeners out there, it's been a pleasure having you. And we would sign off with a Song of the Year. We would sign off. First of all, Margaret, do you have anything to say? Final words?
Yeah. Yes. So to me, we've been listening to everyone else. And at the end of the day, I like to say hustle is the engine, but strategy is the GPS. And that you can work all day, all night. But if you are headed in the wrong direction, you just get lost faster.
Interesting.
So you've got to ask yourself, are you busy or are you effective? Sometimes we are busy but not effective. I always tell the story of a colleague of mine who was always busy but not effective. And hustling can get you noticed, but strategy is what gets you the results. You can do all you can. So my final words to you: don't be proud of how hard you are working. Be proud of how smart you are moving. This week, I want you to trade 1 hour of hustle for 1 hour of planning. Then next week, when we come back, you will tell us what changed. So next week, to all our listeners, to all our callers, you will tell us what changed. Thank you very much.
Final words from Lizian.
It's been quite an interesting conversation. I've been quiet because I'm really enjoying the stories, the experiences, very practical, that Dion has shared. In one sentence, don't just be a hustler. Hustle smartly and have a game plan. Know what you want, what it will cost you to get what you want. Who do you need? What is the price? So have a roadmap. If you are a listener listening to me, whether you want to go to school, you want to start a new job, you want to start a new business, don't just jump into the market, as you've heard from Dion and everyone today. Work smart, not hard. I could also add that smartly work hard. So that's it. Growth and Grind Africa. Don't just be a hustler, be a smart person and set goals.
Okay. Thank you so much. And our song of we still want to pay tribute, and yes, and so we would want to have the song again.
God be with you till we meet again. Till we meet, till we meet at Jesus.
Thank you. Till we meet again. It's been a lovely time having you. Dear listeners, my name is Senyo Yaokluchedo, and I have been here with Margaret Jackson, as well as
Diana Comtrinebois.
thank you. Till we meet again, till we meet same time.
Next week.
Thursday.
Bye.
It's Growth and Grind Africa. Bye.
Live it, lead it. Learn it, live it, and lead it. Bye.
You did awesome. It's pattern.
Across Africa's boardrooms and backrooms, a new era is rising. It's time to stop surviving and start thriving. Introducing Growth and Grind Africa, the game-changing radio show for leaders, dreamers, and doers. Every Thursday at 5 p.m. on Unique 95.7 FM. We bring you real conversations on leadership, coaching, transformation, and strategy. No fluff, just tools to grow, lead, and win in today's world. Whether you're behind the decks, behind the wheel, or at home, this is your moment. The moment to plug in, level up, and transform your hustle into impact. From purpose to performance, we've got you. Starting 17 July 2025, live on Unique 95.7 MHz and on all Becca Africa social media platforms, Facebook, X, YouTube, and TikTok. Growth and Grind Africa. Learn it, lead it, live it. This program is powered by Becca Africa and L&D Africa, and also live on L&D Africa social media platforms. Across Africa's boardrooms and backrooms, a new era is rising. It's time to stop surviving and start thriving. Introducing Growth and Grind Africa, the game-changing radio show for leaders, dreamers, and doers. Every Thursday at 5 p.m. on Unique 95.7 FM. We bring you real conversations on leadership, coaching, transformation, and strategy.